It's a Christmas miracle at the very tail end of the 26th. But it's out. I've made a whole new update. And in order to show it properly, I'm actually going to show all of this off while playing with my controller, because that's like one of the main things that's in this new update. I've been working on this for several days straight the last few days, so I don't even have the energy to make a trailer for this anymore, so I'm just gonna show it all off. So, first off, we have a whole new menu, by which we can... Let me just show off real quick. Essentially, yeah, the whole entire, like, menu got a whole new overhaul. New save slot icons, everything perfectly new. All looking cool, nice and snazzy. And since we're in the preferences screen, as you may see, we now have new display sizes, so you can now switch between like 3 different sizes and full screen, so we have a bit more options. You may also notice towards the bottom there are button prompts for that. Essentially controller button prompts, which is to say, yes, I have actually really been working on getting more keyboard and gamepad support in. So that's why I'm playing this with my controller right now, just to show off the entire new input things and stuff. Oops. It's not all perfect, like, as you can see, I still have to get back up into the menu to like actually change around, because it doesn't stay up, but like... So anyway, don't go into the help menu for now. It's not on controller, like, it's gonna break the game if you go into the help menu on controller. Just, I'm not gonna fix it right now. Maybe in the future I can get it fixed. It should be fine if you just click on it or get there with the keyboard maybe, but for the time being, yeah, just don't get here with controller. It's fine with mouse, you can still see it this way. Anyway, as you can see though, I've added some controller keybind descriptions, or rather, well, I added a new plugin from Phoenix to just, you know, get more support in, and the images came with it. I made some custom ones like this one, which wasn't in there. I just made it myself because I needed it. But yeah, generally everything has a more visual key now, and I also added some extra commands for the new stuff that can be done now, some of which I will show off in a bit. So yeah, got some cool new controls for everything. Anyway, this is currently with the mouse. Anyway, let me just get back to my controller for the time being. Let's see, where do we start? Okay, so from here on, it doesn't matter if there's nothing on top, because that doesn't matter. As you can see, the name boxes now, like Millie and Briar, the name boxes behind will just bind much more closely. Like they aren't all the same size anymore and just stretching out. They just bind more closely around the names now, which is nice. So that's good. Anyway, in a bit, I can also show something off, which is that the distance from between left and right and the text box is essentially more even now. As you can see right here, it used to trail, the text used to trail much more to the right, but now I've made this basic between left and right more even, so the text is more like essentially in the center. But like, yeah, that's one thing. So that's one thing I wanted to show. The next thing I'm gonna show is... Let's check it out from here. Which is essentially that you can now open the camera and the notebook with the key and the gamepad. With the gamepad, you can just open the camera with the left trigger. You can then switch. You can now switch between. You can switch between photos with left shoulder, right shoulder, And you now have a virtual mouse here, which you can just move around with the cursor or your arrow keys to investigate stuff in case, you know, you don't have a mouse for some godforsaken reason. So that's gonna make things easier, especially when playing with a gamepad. And you can close all of this back down with X or escape on the keyboard. The same, and you can also open the camera with C on the keyboard for camera. And something similar goes with the notebook, which you can open with the N key on the keyboard or the right trigger. And here too, you can just, well, if we had left and right arrow keys right now, I'm a bit too early in the game, but you could switch. You could switch between pages with the left and right shoulders again, just like with the camera, and close it with X. So that's essentially the same. And while we're here in the investigative area, you've also got the virtual cursor here, which you can move around with the gamepad and also the arrow keys. And you can use the left and right shoulder to go left and right in bigger areas. And you can also use, I believe, Y to turn around. So this is gonna be much easier to do now with the gamepad. And finally, let's go to let's go to an investigation area. Well, an interrogation area anyway. Let's see. We can probably from here. Essentially, let's give it a bit. So now, from here on, if you go into discussions, you've now got left and right arrows on the left and right of the text box, with which you can use the mouse to go between left and right statements with no more issues. That used to be an issue that you can't go back when holding. For example, if I were to, by the way, during discussions you also got a virtual cursor that you can use with the gamepad, because I've never figured out how to get there with button commands. So like, I just gave you all a mouse to work with during these discussions for keyboard and gamepad. It works. Anyway, now if you present something and it's wrong, we're just gonna skip through that. You can still go back, and nothing is gonna break, so that's gonna be great. You can just switch back and forth as much as you want, which you can do with, like I just said, with the mouse, just pressing on the left and right arrows right there on the text box, or like left and right shoulder on the gamepad, or just the A and D keys on the A and D keys on the keyboard, which by the way is also how you can flip through pages or camera photos. I forgot to mention that earlier. So that's cool. Let me just check if there was anything else I had left on here. I have the update notes next to me. Right, something that you yourself won't notice very much is that I've just kind of optimized how I activate my shouts in the background, but that's just a back-end thing. You won't really notice that much. Like, let's see. If you present something wrong, like you just saw, yeah, it still looks essentially the same, but I just reworked it a bit so it's easier in the future. So that makes things much easier. And finally, one of the biggest things that I've been working on is over here in the preferences. As you might have probably already seen before, I've added a whole ass German language translation, so you can now play the game in German too. Like, let's see, ups. So essentially, yeah, everything is German now, and also let me just present something here. This should be the right statement. Let me just check real quick. Just gonna show this off a bit. Even the shouts are translated to German. Anyway, I read it was actually wrong. It's fine. But yeah, as you can see, yeah. I translated everything to German, including like, you know, even evidence descriptions, everything. You can just play the entire game in German now. So that's one of the biggest things I've been working on for like a very long time. I just translated everything to German. Which also means if anyone else wants to translate this game into their own language in the future, I've got the framework for that now, which is great. Anyway, I hope you enjoy all of these updates to the update that is to Chapter 1 that is out right now. You can now play Chapter 1 in a much more updated version, with just a few kinks left, but maybe it'll get out in the future. And also, I swear, Chapter 2 is gonna come out eventually. But for the time being, enjoy version 0.1.2. Until whenever the next update drops.